Hey guys, welcome to the new video of MuleSoft online learning. In this video, we will be discussing about Anypoint MQ. So as you can see, I am currently logged in into the Anypoint platform, and this is the thing in which we are going to play around. So before jumping on to the Anypoint MQ, let's first check what we need to do in the access management. So I will click on the access management and it will open up. I will go to the users, and this is the active user for me. So I am going towards this one and I will check on MQ. And if you have to select the environment. So I will be working mostly on the design. So it will be I have selected the design, and after that in the select I have selected all. So currently after selecting all, you have to click on plus. So currently I have already selected for design. I'm just highlighting those: clear destination, manage clients, manage destinations, view clients, and view destinations. So these are the default settings which I have already selected. Now I will quickly go to the MQ. Now if proper access has been provided to your user, then you should be able to see only this much part of the MQ setup. These rest of the things I have created as part of this POC, so you can ignore it for now. We will discuss it in more detail. So if you go down to this drop down, you will see a lot many geographical locations. So ideally you should pick any one of the geographical location which is close to your actual physical location. So I'm working out of India, so for me I have selected the Singapore location. So as you can see, uh, AP, Asia Pacific, Southeast, and after that the rest of the URL gets created. So I will click on copy and save it somewhere for my quick reference. Now how to create these IDs or destinations? So for that you have to just simply click on this plus sign, click on Q, and let me put test Q1. 2 is already there, so I will put 3. I will click on these are the message time to live. So 7 days it will, by default it will live, and it will wait for default acknowledgement for 2 minutes, and after that it will time out. You can also insert some default delivery delay, encryption, and a dead letter queue. So I will take for the first part of this discussion as default settings. I will click on create queue. So if you just click on this side, don't click on this hyperlink. If you just click on this particular line, it will select this particular row, and it will give you certain options like purge messages. If there are any messages available in this queue, you can directly click on purge message and you can delete those messages. And delete will be deleting this entire queue itself. In queue, it means there is a message which is still existing on this queue and needs to be picked up by any of the consumer. In flight, some processing is going on and it is being picked up for message, but the message is still under processing, so that's why it is in flight. Okay, and after that you can see there is some graph, it will come up, and rest of the things we have already selected. Now if we select this particular hyperlink, we will see the same sort of thing, and we can configure it plus and minus whatever you want, change the values and something we can play around. Okay, now I will click on message sender. Now it we are on test Q3 and it accept text, CSV, and JSON. So let's put it in this way: test message to test Q3. don't want any delivery delay, and maybe user properties I can pass environment as dev. I click on add property. I click on send button. It shows messages sent. Okay, so now I will go to the message browser and retrieve up to 50 messages, and it will poll for every 20 seconds. I will click on get messages. So test message is sent to test Q3, and there is a corresponding ID connected to it, and this is how we are able to see. I will again go to the message sender. This time instead of text I will select CSV maybe, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I will send it again. So I will quickly go over here, get messages. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just trying to show the 3 formats for now. I will click on JSON. I will put something like as first name as Ankur, and I will click on send button once again. Message is sent successfully. I will go to message browser, click on get messages. I will wait for a couple of seconds. So here you can see all the 3 messages. Now how to read these messages, or this is the message which is being sent with corresponding details, metadata, environment properties. If you click on delete, it will simply delete the messages. Simply we will go and do the same for the rest of the uh, messages as well. I will click on delete. So if you now click on get messages, there is no messages available. So we'll just wait for a second, get it load. So it's pretty much done. Let's see and click over here, 0 in queue and 0 in flight. And if I click on delete, what it is going to do, it will delete the queue as well. So now till this point we are clear. Now we will further play around some over here. Like I will click on plus sign and click on exchange. You can put any exchange name over here and just click on save changes. Although it gives an option of encrypted, whether you want to encrypt all the messages plus all the queues, it will list down. And if you want to include these queues as a part of the exchange you are going to create, you can select it here only, and you can bind these queues to a particular exchange. So if you click on over here, it will going to create it will going to create the exchange. So let's go inside this. So test queue and test queue2 I have binded. So queue1 is not binded, so it is giving me that option to select it and bind it, but I don't want it, so I will keep it as it is. There is a logic behind it. I want to show something, so just keep it like that and click on message sender. So here as well, three formats. So we are not going to check for every format, but I will show the basic functionality of using this exchange. I will quickly put something here. Hello world. Click on send button. Message sent. Ideally, whenever this message is being sent from the exchange level, both these queues should be receiving the same message. So I will click on view messages, get messages. Just wait, and you can see the hello world. I will go back, click on exchange, and I will go to the message center maybe, and test Q2. I will click on get messages. So hello world you can see again. So the main motives of showing this exchange capability was that if we push any messages on the text exchange, and depending on the queues which are being binded to it, all those queues will also receive the same message in them. Now, if we quickly check, test queue1 is unbounded, right? So ideally, um, if we go over here, it hasn't received anything, so we are fine with that. Whereas this has received an in-flight message, and if you click on here as well, you can purge this queue. So we'll wait, and I will hover back over again. So it is 0. Similarly, I want to purge message from here as well. I will delete this message. I will go back somewhere here and go back again. So now it's all clean. There is no pending messages. Now this was all about the destination. It also gives one more option of FIFO queue, but this is quite similar. But the only thing will be the order. First in, first out messages will be consumed in this manner. Now if we click on client app, you have to just click on this plus sign, put some random name, maybe test app 1. I click on save changes. It will generate client app ID and client secret. So just you need to save um, these two secrets, because it will be used in our uh, Anypoint Studio flow level as well. So for the time being, I have already set this test app. So I will delete this test app 1. Just simply delete this. Okay. So I have already copied these particular two things, but I will again do it again. I will go back here, client ID, and copy this guy, and we are good. So this client app is being used to connect a client which is being created on the Anypoint Studio flow level, and we will connect to this Anypoint MQ on the platform level. So that was the reasoning behind it. I will go to Anypoint Studio, and I will quickly walk through you through the different test cases which I have tried to create. So the first one is HTTP listener, and it is listening on /MQ, and there is a simple logger, payload it is printing. After that, this publish. This is Anypoint MQ. So how to bring it over here? You have to click on add modules, or click over here, search and exchange, put MQ. It is taking some time. I will cancel this, but because it is taking some time, but I will show you what you have to select. Let's give it one more time. Yeah, so you have to just select this Anypoint MQ connector, click on add. 3.10 is the latest version, and you have to click on finish. I have already done that, so I will cancel it, and this will bring Anypoint MQ 3.10 over here. It gives 5 different options: publish, subscribe, consume, acknowledge, and no acknowledge. We will briefly touch base all these options in our use cases. So coming back to here, I have just drag and drop this publish onto the canvas and put down a logger. Logger is nothing but just a random message, like message is being published. So I will show you the configuration of this publish. So you have to just click on this plus sign, and a window will pop up. So you have to just select some of the values which you have already selected. So first one is this, okay, and then app ID, and then client secret. So that's fine. That's up to, if you are under the proxy level, then you have to use the different format. If you are having some TLS, then you have to use the TLS references as well, but I'm not using it, so I'm good. You can use the reconnection strategy as well, but I'm just trying to show the basic working of this Anypoint MQ. So I will go back to general, click on test connection. It will take a couple of seconds to load. So we are good. Click on OK. Go to the message flow. Sorry. So test queue I have selected as the destination, and the user property I have added environment as DEV. I will quickly check over here. Go to the destination, test queue, message sender. So it gives the option whether you want to add or not, and this is optional. So you can have it, or it totally depends on your use case. So the second thing will be the subscriber. It will listen onto the same test queue. Rest of the setting we will go by default, and acknowledgement mode, manual or auto. I will go with auto. There are three different acknowledgement modes, like auto, immediate and manual, and you can set the timeout accordingly. And after that there is a logger. So nothing fancy, but just we are putting uh, the payload details, simply like that. So I will set it to the default, and for the rest of the flows I will, this is http, so we should be good. So quickly showing you the configuration once again. This is the http listener, listening on /mq, and it will trigger from here and publish. The message will come over here and it will log. So let's run it. In the meanwhile, let me go to my postman. So I will click on plus sign, and we'll check the method details. Give me a moment. Let's say post. Okay, so I will change this guy to post, and we'll feed rest of the details http local, or instead of this, /mq. I will put some random JSON. So this is the sample payload which I will be using. So let's cross check again on console level. So we are good over here. I will click on this send button. So let's go back to over here. Message to be published. So it is coming from this particular logger. Then it will publish and say message published. So message published. After that, this logger will come into play. Message received. So let's see, message received, and this is it. I will stop this execution for now. Okay, and I will walk through the next use case. So the next one is similar to the first one, only the receiving part we are going to change. So this time we will be triggering this particular flow with MQ consumer as the path. So it will first consume it. Acknowledgement mode we are setting as manual, so it means we need to send acknowledgement. This is referring a particular flow reference, so you can put any processing logic. This is referring to this particular dummy flow reference. So process manage I have just created like that, and acknowledgement you have to just drag and drop from here to here. So if you have noticed, it asks for a act token apart from this Anypoint MQ config, which is we are using generate. So this value is going to come from this consume session or on the session level, and after that in the logger I'm going to print the token as well as the payload. Okay, so let's run this guy once again. So also before running it we have to disable this guy because we are again listening onto the same queue. So what I will do, I will set the initial stage as stopped and save this. And let's run this, save the project. It will take a couple of seconds to load. So what I will do in the meanwhile, I will cross check what is the name of this MQ consumer. So I will go back to the map postman and MQ consumer manual. So this is the local host, then MQ consumer. This will be a get operation. So we will be triggering it from here. So let me rename it. Let me see this guy. I'm just saving it onto the collection. I will check on the console once again. So it is being deployed. So it will publish from here and it will go to the below one, consume it, and one of the logger will say with acknowledgement and the payload is this. Okay. So let's put the same message once again. Message being published. So this is a manual acknowledgement and I will trigger this flow. Same message being come back. So ideally this message with act token should be there. So message acknowledged with act token is this and the payload is this. So this entire thing is the acknowledgement token. Now some other time what happen, like we don't want to acknowledge the same message, and in that case the message will go back to the same queue and it will remain there. So in order to show that, what I will do, instead of ack I will put an acknowledgement. The same setting it will remain. So I'm going to run the same thing, but the only difference will be the path will be different this time. Okay, so let's publish this particular message once again. Sent. The message being published. Now let's go to this particular setting and see what is there. Let's delete this message just to have the clarity. So test queue, there are no messages. Okay, uh, I will publish the message. Message is being published, and let's try to refresh it once again. One in flight. Okay, and no acknowledgement mode. So I will click on send button. I need to check whether it is in stop state or what. 1 second guys, we are good. Nothing is required. So let's see once again what's happening over here. So it is in flight. I'm just trying to show a particular use case. Just bear with me. So you have seen like it is not able to receive any messages during this. There is a reason behind it, because this message is in flight mode. This is in flight mode. So in order to process it further, you need to set a this dead letter queue. I'm going to explain about this as well. One moment. So dead letter queue and delete attempt before readout. It will try for 2 times. Okay. Publish message once again. Go to this. Now I will quickly go over here. Go to the destinations. Test queue. Let's see. In flight is 2. Test queue 1. It will take couple of seconds, I think. One moment, guys. So here you can see the 2 messages which are in flight. One moment. Let me try to remove this guy, and I will save this. We'll run it once again. I'm going to clean up this mess, this one as well. So here you can see the message is being there. So let's try to see the message. So this is the message. It finally popped to the DQ which we have set. So the ideal working was, it was stuck because of some restart was required, I think. Yeah. So the main thing was like to showcase the acknowledgement mode in and non-acknowledgement modes, or an NACK, which what we call. And let me quickly set this up once again. So that's pretty much of it, and I think I have covered most of the part, but you can play around with the rest of the things like how to encrypt. It gives the encryption um, option as well. So if you go over here, you can see the encryption. You can encrypt the data, and you can play around with different other options. One more thing I like to highlight. So there is Anypoint MQ API. So this is a REST API which is being offered by uh, Anypoint MQ level. So it gives the admin API, broker, and statics. So I am not going to cover this entire thing in this particular video, but feel free to refer this. Just to give a very basic example, this is one of the username and password. You have to send a curl request onto the endpoint login, and after that you can get the access token type, bearer, and all the things. And you can create the FIFO if you pass in this particular order and all the things it is talking about. Similarly, you can pass this as a bearer and the operation ID, environment ID. So how it will be like, just to give an example. Uh, so authorize, okay, one moment. Let me try to bring up, yeah, so this one authorize is being set up, and client ID, secret, and grant type you have to share in this particular format, like client credentials, client secret, and client ID. These two values will be the same uh, which you have set up while creating the client app, and you have to just click on send button. It will bring up some of these values like access token, environment ID, or ID, and based on this you can further use this to uh, you can use this in the further other different options. So just to give an example, you can publish this message directly. Host name, organization, message ID you have to pass in this particular format. You have to pass the token URL which was being generated in the access token. This one you can copy paste here and click on send button. Along with the body you need to send in this particular format. Accept type and content type, you have to add the accept as application JSON and the content type as application JSON again. In the authorization you have to just simply paste the token. So let me try to show you once again quickly. It will take some time, but it's worth to show, that's why. I'm just trying to show you can play around with further other different options. So environment ID, so I simply paste over here, and org ID. Org ID is this guy. I will click on send button. Let's see. Send operation successful, and hello world is being sent. So let's quickly check in our test queue. In flight, I am more interested in the message. So hello world, it's being just sent, right? Yeah. So having said that, uh, we finally came to end of this Anypoint MQ session. Uh, I would like to encourage you to further evaluate and go to the different REST API options which are being available on this particular page. I will give the hyperlinks of these particular URLs in our video description as well. So I hope you like this video, and stay tuned for the rest of the upcoming sessions which are in line. Thank you.